We'll get there. Beauty.
You would have let Trevor Noah crowd surf you. I know you would have. Never mind. Hi, my name's Neeti. I actually lived in... Oh, this is not going well. 1 minute. Oh, there we go. There we go. I used to live in Berlin. I lived here for 14 years. I learned how to speak German. Das war eine richtige Zeitverschwendung. Because then I moved to Canada and I lived there for a bit. No use for German there, and it was very cold, so I didn't stay. And then I moved to the UK, and despite being Indian, I just wasn't racist enough to get on board with the Conservative Party. So I couldn't stay there. And then I moved to Malta. Malta's lovely and sunny, just like Berlin. But I can't use German there, but I'm still happy there. So it's nice to visit you guys from Malta. And have you guys noticed how everything's very 90s right now? Yeah, it is, isn't it? We all love the 90s? How are we feeling about the 90s? You don't remember it? Oh, you're my favorite person in the audience right now. I don't remember the 90s. Well, it made me think about me in the 90s. Because what stands before you right now, right? I was not this cool human being back then. It's supposed to be a shock. Oh, fuck you lot. Anyway, so back in the night, imagine this, 1998, I am 16 years old. Okay, I am very unpopular at school. And so I do what any unpopular person at school does, I study. I study the teenagers on TV, the American teenagers, and I think to myself, well, they're cool, I want to be like them. And I rock into school and I go to my music teacher and I say, I want to learn how to play the saxophone. Like the ultimate American cool girls, Lisa Simpson. But I'm not the only person who had this idea. They'd run out of saxophones in 1998. So I got the French horn. There are people who can make the French horn look cool. No. Pretty much because I looked like a French horn back at that age. I was a round kid, okay? I was. And like, you know how some kids can make school uniform look cool? In the UK, we wear school uniform. Like, they roll their skirt up and they're having their Britney Spears moment, right? Well, my mum was a thrifty bitch. And she always bought clothes a couple of sizes too big. And so my skirt was up to my ankles. And so by the time I had rolled it up, I looked like I was ready to go swimming. With one of those things, those life preserves on, right? And that's ironic, because at the age of 16, I didn't know how to swim. I didn't go swimming because I had an unfortunate tit incident at swim class. Which is what happens when your mum buys your swimming suit 2 sizes too big. And actually, I don't think I would have even been allowed in the pool, because my mum would put all this oil in my hair. It's an Indian thing. Are there any Indian people in this room right now? No? Okay, right. That's weird. That's never happened before. Okay, Berlin, what have you done with all the Indians? So yeah, it's an Indian thing. We do it so to make your hair really beautiful, okay? But I think it's actually because Indian women want to deep fry food at all possible times. Like a samosa SOS or something. I don't know. I don't know what had a higher fat content back then, my hair or my body. Oh, I know. And if that wasn't bad enough, I had undiagnosed ADHD. And I think, maybe you feel the same way. I think my teachers knew, right? Because my report cards were like, she's really distracted. She talks a lot. She loses all her books. Word on the street was that I ate all my books. Did not eat my books. And while we are clearing things up, no, she who smelt it had not dealt it. That doesn't make sense. Do you know this saying? If you smell a fart, it's your fart. And kids say it all the time, right? That doesn't make sense. Like particle theory, diffusion, from highest visibility to low. Why would I be spelling out that I was the one that farted by pointing it out first? It diffused around the room. Everybody in the room smelt it, but none of us dealt it apart from the person in the middle. Thank you very much, Tony. Right? But I was the smelly kid. I was a smelly kid at school because at the age of 16, my mum sent me to school with my knockoff pink Care Bear lunchbox. It had Kind Bear written on it. I mean, There was no coming back from that. But inside the lunchbox, there were cold fish finger sandwiches. Not one kid would sit next to me. Not one kid would sit next to me at lunch, right? I was a social pariah. And oh, thank you very much. This is like group therapy, I love this. I don't know if you remember what it's like being a teenager, but they are pack animals, right? If you get sent away from the pack, you're pretty much walking dead, right? You are prey. And I ain't going to let that happen to me. So, do you know what I did? I had a plan, because I'm clever. I took my fish finger sandwiches and I ate them in the girls' toilets. I don't know if this is related, but years later, on reflection, this might have something to do with why I'm a germaphobe and bisexual. I don't know. Me and my therapist are thinking about this one, okay? So yeah, but this did not save me from getting bullied. Not one bit. I got bullied. I had two bullies. Keisha, who was like physical, like she would like punch me in the face a few times. It was fun, you know. I got a bit of cardio in, ran away from her. She was trying to help. I'm sure she was trying to help in her own way. And then there was Lindsay. Now, Lindsay, she was like into psychological bullying, right? She was very verbal, like girls tend to be. She told all the boys not to speak to me. They weren't speaking to me anyway. And she came out with sick burns like Fat Dyke. It was Essex, it was a state school, that was high level burning, okay? That is creative writing. We win awards for that in Essex, okay? And don't be too hard on her, because Lindsay, she joined the military, right? She joined the British military, where she met her beautiful wife. And I like to think I was the first brown person she ever tortured. You're welcome, Britain, you're welcome. And you know, it didn't go too badly for me either, because guess what I do now? Not a bully, no, well, kind of. I'm a school teacher. I've gone from being made to cry by teenage girls to 25 years later, being made to cry by teenage girls. So, I've been Niti Dingra. If you're ever in Malta, please come see me. Thank you very much.
One more time for Niti!